Delhi's been in the news because Harry Brook was chosen by them, but due to the AQI levels, we knew that he was not going to come because there was too much pollution. And just as we expected, he is not here. But it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't matter for Delhi if the British are there or not because Bapu is there. That's what matters.
Well played.
Well
Three
done.
for the day.
No, he thought of this line before.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. I have
You really
have
came
to
up
give
with this
credit
one?
where it's due.
Because you were Trump about 10 seconds ago. So you can't come up with lines like that.
No, this line is for Shorkar. Mr. Shorkar, our producer-director, he came up with this line. He said it doesn't matter if the British are gone, Bapu is there. This is like, I give credit where it's due.
And Bapu is a proper player, man.
He's just, love Axar.
He's
Love
a
Axar.
proper
Akshar's the
player.
captain. And again, very importantly, right, because we've had a year of, well, last year, of course, the captaincy transition and how that didn't go well for Mumbai, and we saw how that all played out. Thankfully, that's under control with Mumbai this year. But with Delhi, that could have been an issue, Joy, and it's a good thing that it's not, because when KL Rahul was picked there in the auction, we all kind of thought that maybe he's going to
They picked a captain.
No, but I think, look, again, you even look at the prices. Okay, they paid Axar 16.5.
Yeah.
Okay, Rahul, they picked at 14.
14.
So I think they always had him as captain. And also, I think, again, one of the things you have to remember is this is a transition year. This is a year when the management goes from the Delhi Capitals, that is
From the Jindals to the
from the
GMR.
Jindal to the GMR. And so you'll see most of the staff is completely changed. So you've got a completely new coaching staff. I think they've got a decent core, but again, I love the bowling.
Yeah.
But batting, again, you have to look at it and say, are they strong enough? Do they have enough fibre?
You know, the funny thing is, if I was Harry Brook and I thought I was a good player, and they didn't even replace me.
Yeah.
They didn't even replace him.
Yeah, but sir, he can think he's irreplaceable. That's what he's. If I'm his therapist, I'm saying you're irreplaceable. Bada, तुम्हारा कोई option ही नहीं बड़ा. Bada, you are.
And not only that, he basically he must have realized, because he must have called up Stark and said, how do you get out of IPL teams? Because
Only thing is, Stark gets out of an IPL team and comes back with a record. Brook can't come back for the next 2 years.
yes, Brook is now gone. Yeah.
They're talking
but
about
I think it's a
being
great
captain.
rule. And I think a lot of guys have backed it.
No, it's a great rule. If you see what Moeen Ali has said also, he said, no, teams, so the team that I had Brook batting at 3 for Delhi. Suddenly there's no Brook. They haven't replaced him. I think it could be a blessing in disguise. It'll force them to pick one of the best IPL players in Faf du Plessis.
Yeah.
And suddenly Faf will go up to open the batting, because I'm hearing KL Rahul is going to bat at 4.
Oh, really?
Because I had him as my candidate for one of the top scorers. He's not becoming orange cap from number 4.
Yeah. No.
So they might use that Fraser McGurk up at the top with Faf.
Yeah.
With Faf. They like that Abhishek Porel. He comes and gets those quick 30s, which is fine.
Good batter.
KL Rahul at 4. And then the batting just sort of just follows. Then you've got a player I rate very, very high, Tristan Stubbs. So they've got enough power in that batting. If Rahul just releases himself and says, man, I'm just going to go and have fun. He batted beautifully in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
I tell you, watching KL Rahul in the Champions Trophy was such a good feeling. He just releases and says, I'll go and play my game.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a decent batting side. It's not a side you're scared of, but it's still a pretty decent batting side. But that young kid at the top must fire, Fraser McGurk.
We'll pull up that squad again, and then Akshar would bat at 6.
Akshar will bat wherever. If he's India, he might bat at 4 also.
So
but
bat wherever.
These guys are the opposite of Rajasthan. Lot of international batting. Only one international bowler they can probably beat. Stark is the only international
Yeah,
bowler.
but look, they've got the India spinners, right? They've got Kuldeep and Akshar, right? So
Yes.
that is their
Stark
bowlers,
and
they have
Natarajan.
One
Mitchell,
more.
Stark, I'm really liking their bowling, this year.
Mohit Sharma, Mukesh Kumar.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's a decent batting side. And there's one guy who can't stop scoring runs. We don't know how much he'll score in T20, but he turns up for Vidarbha and he can't stop scoring runs, and that's Karun Nair.
Yeah.
So Karun Nair, I don't know how he fits into this T20 side, because they've got this Ashutosh. It's a strange format, this, where an Ashutosh who can come and clobber 20 in no time might be preferred over Karun Nair.
Yeah.
So Ashutosh will bat at 6 maybe, or Akshar at 6, Ashutosh at 7, and then they've got Kuldeep, Stark, Mukesh, Natarajan. Maybe they'll have Ashutosh as an impact sub and play Karun Nair maybe as a batter. Though that might leave them a little short on bowling. They might have a bowler as a.
I think they've got good players. I think their problem is going to be selection of those batters and the order that they play them in. I feel like it's not naturally fitting, because you're seeing plenty of top order players over there.
A, that. B is that there is one other issue, and I'm telling you, one of the big things about the IPL is, do you have enough? You have one injury down to they have just 6 international players, okay?
Yes.
One guy goes down, 1 or 2 batters go down, and then suddenly you're having to force to play Donovan Pereira. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's a necessarily
There isn't a lot of
player.
Indian batting, you're right.
Then-
Apart from Karun Nair, Samir Rizvi, much talked about, hasn't yet delivered. There's not a lot of Indian batting there if they start to have a problem.
Yeah, it's not.
And not much experience in the batting. Not much Indian experience.
That's what's worrying me, because it's always, you always speak about how the India core wins you the trophy.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about the India core has to be great to win you the trophy. And I feel that in terms of just sheer firepower batting, I feel like they just might be a little short compared to the other teams. They're great players.
Also, you don't
Great
wish an
batters.
injury on anybody, but you look down that lineup and say, Akshar, world class, Kuldeep, world class. One of them's missing. Who's a spinner in that team?
Yeah.
And you suddenly look down that lineup. I've got some names in here, but who's the other spinner in that team?
Yeah, you don't have that class. And here's the thing, like, God forbid if something happens to Mitchell Stark, that wraps up a
Then
lot
they
of
have
this.
to
You
play
have only
Chamira.
Chamira, that's it.
Then they have to play Chamira.
They'll have to play Chamira. They'll have to play an international.
So there's a few ifs and buts there.
Around
I really like this team. I like this team. It's a good 11, but there's just a few question
It's
marks.
a wafer thin margin of error.
That's well put. Yeah, there's not too much margin of error, which is why I've got them as a fingers crossed. Because again, I'm always rooting for like a new name on the trophy.
Yeah.
I would like that new name on the trophy.
Obviously, I'm the designated bad guy out here because bad cop.
I'm just asking.
Luckily, he lives in Haryana.
Have?
Luckily, he lives in
How many
Haryana.
thumbs do you have? You're throwing these thumbs down away. What's going on with you?
I'm like
you walk like this?
I'm like Nero with the gladiators,
Yeah.